I get it, you're scrolling through endless listings, seeing glossy photos of home gym equipment that promise a full-body workout in one compact machine, and the moment you think you've found the perfect all-in-one, the reality hits you. The thing either takes up the entire garage or just won't handle the weight you need. Most reviews sound like hype, and the few that actually tell you what to expect are buried under vague marketing copy. That's why I'm breaking this down before you click add to cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the French fitness FSR90 isn't a simple Smith machine, and it isn't a generic functional trainer either. It's an attempt to merge a squat rack, a Smith bar, a cable system, dip bars, a landmine attachment, and a pull-up station into one steel frame. The idea is tempting for anyone with limited space who still wants to load up on compound movements, but it also means you're trading off a few things you might not notice until you've actually tried it in your own workout routine. Who should consider this beast? If you're a serious lifter who already owns separate bench, rack, and cable machines, you'll probably find the FSR90 cramped and under-engineered for heavy squats or explosive power cleans. The weight capacity on the bar catches is listed at 660 pounds, which sounds massive, but the real limit comes from the rack's geometry. The Smith bar travels on a fixed vertical track, so you lose the freedom to tip the bar forward for heavy deadlifts or to step out of the plane for front squats. If you spend a lot of time doing Olympic-style lifts, you'll feel the restriction fast. On the other side of the fence, the FSR90 shines for people who are building a home gym from scratch and need a variety of movement patterns without buying 3 separate pieces of equipment. College students living in a basement, busy parents who only have a spare room, and anyone who wants to fit a decent range of exercises into a 12 by 12 foot space will appreciate the compact footprint. The quick-adjust barbell hooks and pop-in system mean you can move from a squat to a bench press to a cable crossover in under a minute, perfect for a fast, full-body circuit when you're juggling work and family. Let's talk about the everyday experience of using it. The first thing you notice is the frame, thick 2-inch by 2.75-inch steel tubing with a matte finish that resists fingerprints. It feels solid enough that you can load a barbell with 300 pounds plates without the whole thing wobbling. The Smith bar itself has a decent grip, but because it rides on a fixed rail, the bar's path is limited to a straight vertical line. In practice, that means the bar will never drift forward or backward, which can be a blessing for beginners who need consistent motion but a curse for seasoned lifters seeking a more natural bar path. For squats, the bar's vertical travel works fine as long as you keep your stance inside the rack's footprint. However, the uprights get crowded quickly if you try to add a bench for incline presses or a dip station for triceps work. The cable system on the functional trainer side is where the FSR90 really tries to stretch its versatility. The pulleys are positioned on either side of the frame, allowing you to do lat pulls, chest flies, and low rows. The cables themselves are standard steel core with a rubber coating, and the resistance is provided by a weight stack that maxes out at about 150 pounds. If you've been using a dedicated cable machine with 300-pound stacks, you'll notice the difference immediately. For most home users, though, the 150 pounds range is adequate for isolation work. Think triceps pushdowns, bicep curls, and face pulls. One practical tip I discovered while testing: the cable line can get a little noisy when you change direction quickly, so if you're in an apartment with thin walls, you might want to schedule your high-intensity intervals during off-peak hours. Now for the dip bars and landmine attachment. The dip bar extends from the front of the rack, giving you a decent range of motion for bodyweight dips. The real trick is that the bar is fixed, so your hand placement can't be adjusted as freely as on a dedicated dip station, but most users will find the standard width comfortable enough for chest-focused dips. The landmine attachment slots into the front upright and lets you do rotational moves like half-kneeling presses or anti-rotation rows. I tried a landmine squat press with a 45 pounds plate, and the rack held steady without any creaking, which is a good sign for durability. Where the FSR90 trips up are the hidden trade-offs that only show up after a few weeks of regular use. The pop-in adjustment system for the bar height feels solid at first, but after a month of heavy lifting, the pins start to wear a little, making the bar's position less precise. It's not a catastrophic failure, but it does mean you'll need to keep an eye on those pins if you're loading more.